Hello and welcome along to WD18, the Watford fan channel. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. As you can tell, different attire today for a very special guest, which we'll get onto in just a second. We're going to be discussing Birmingham City 0, Watford 1 at St Andrews. The Tom Cleverley era is up and well and truly running. Charlie Zazzera joining myself, Jacob Culshaw, on today's stream. Charlie, how are you, bud?
I'm good. I just realised, obviously, beating Birmingham, bit of Peaky Blinders in there as well.
Oh my. I didn't even clock that. That's a great shout. And to be fair, that wasn't the only reason we're wearing a flat cap to start the show, because we've got the man who runs Watford Flat Caps. It's Mr. Harry Welsh. He doesn't have a business, but Harry, you're well known for that combination, Harry Flat Caps together. Where did it come from, mate?
Do you know what? I think I just wore one. I can't remember when it was. I just ended up buying one, and ever since, just like I've got an addiction of buying them now. I usually try and this one matches one of my coats I was wearing yesterday. You know, we've got a good collection.
Is that the one you're wearing at the moment, Harry?
Yeah. I will. Not this jacket. This jacket doesn't match it, but yeah, I've got another green jacket. But
world class. Harry, how are you getting on, mate? Thanks so much for coming on. Sam, he can't be with us today, but Harry, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on today, mate. How was yesterday? How was the day?
Good day out. Good day at the pub as well. Before it was all lively. But I was just speaking to Charlie about it. It was a good day. I missed the goal, I must admit. I was getting a beer.
Can't wait for that analysis from Harry.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's you know what? It's good to get really good. Pleased for Tom Cleverley to get a win. Must
Absolutely.
admit, really pleased for
sure.
it.
And we'll get into it today. I feel like we should take the hats off only because it's doing Harry a disservice. Great win for Watford yesterday. As I said, it got the Tom Cleverley era up and running with a win that meant a lot to Watford fans, but a win that meant a lot to our league position this season, the context of our season as well, and a win that meant a lot to Tom Cleverley, who said that's the most satisfying win in his 16 years involved in football. So a really, really nice win and a really nice way to go into this international break, which we must mention will include the WD18 Cup, which is starting this Saturday. 10 teams involved at West Art Sports Club, the Saturday, the 23rd of March. So this Saturday, I'm getting the text messages through saying, look, am I coming? Yep, you're coming. We'll leave the link in the description below to donate, to get involved with the auction and the raffle. We've got some great prizes. I met Craig Cathcart this week to pick up his FA Cup final match-worn shirt. And he was such a great guy, Craig. Really nice just to talk to him about Watford, his time at Watford, his experiences and stuff, and what he's up to these days. Charlie, what other things can people find on the auction, the raffle site?
Yeah, there's loads. We actually we got an interesting donation, which might be confirmed soon as well, actually. But loads of shirts, men's and women's signed shirts from the squad. The women's one's actually up for a raffle, so what I encourage people to do, if you want to donate, all you have to do is buy a raffle ticket for £5, and you've got a 1 in 3 chance of winning an amazing Watford prize, whether that be a signed shirt, a James Morris signed shirt, which obviously he played really, really well yesterday. I thought we'll get into that. What else is there on the raffle? We've got some hampers with like some alcohol in it, some chocolate. We've got Watford puzzles. We've got, my mind's gone blank. We've got loads of stuff, but £5 buy a raffle ticket. There's 1 in 3 chance to win, so that's a great way to get involved. You might win something, and obviously all the money's going to a great cause.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 causes: the Peace Hospice and Hertfordshire Mind. As Charlie mentioned with the raffle, there's lots to get involved with. £5 to enter. In terms of the auction, I mentioned the Craig Cathcart FA Cup final match-worn shirt. We've got hospitality tickets for the first game of next season, Emmanuel Dennis signed shirt, men's first team signed shirt, women's first team signed shirt, and an Alec Chamberlain signed shirt as well. So make sure you do go and check over on the Charity Hive website for the WD18 Cup. Let's touch on Birmingham City 0, Watford 1. Charlie, Harry mentioned about sort of the day in general, but in terms of the win for Watford this season, and I think in the context of this season, that is a massive win for Watford, especially with a managerial change, Cleverley's first game, the run we've been on, the position Birmingham were in as well in 19th going into this one. We were 15th when the game started. It just felt, I think it was probably the definition of a 6-pointer, right?
Yeah, it was massive. So important, that win. We'll talk about the performance. I don't think it was amazing, but I think the way the team was set up was really sensible. I think the way all the players have applied themselves showed really good character. And then we had a moment from Emmanuel Dennis, which that's what he's been brought in to do. I don't know if Rajovic or Bayo would have put away that chance. But it was a huge win. And I think the most pleasing thing for me, obviously, it was great seeing Tom's interview afterwards, just showing that transition from being a player to being on the front line, being a manager, and kind of saying when he heard the fans chanting his name, like how emotional he was, and he didn't think he'd hear that so soon after retiring. But for me, the most pleasing thing, I just thought how we defended. I think our back line had the average age of 21. Pollock playing on the left side instead of Wesley Hoot, who's been our player of the season. Porteous, who I thought was really good. An interesting tactical thing, which I noticed we didn't go man for man, which we have been doing in some games under Val. So it was a bit more back to basics, but they defended the space really, really well. And Dan Backman deserves a shout because he made an excellent save, and I thought in general he was a lot more improved than recent performances. So massive result, important win, and now I think we can all just breathe a bit.
Yeah, it puts us 9 points clear of the relegation zone. It was just a game where I think if he had lost it and gone into an international break, people would have said whether Cleverley should carry on, whether he should bring in someone else. It now looks like it's given us the opportunity from now until the end of the season in the last 8 games for Tom Cleverley to have a great run with his team, the players to enjoy their football, play without any sort of baggage and any weight on their shoulders. I guess the main question is, Harry, for someone who was there yesterday, was there any key differences to the way we normally played under Val?
I thought we were a bit more direct, to be honest. I think our pass, a lot more passes forward, I noticed. Tempo felt a little bit higher, maybe. But like Charlie said, it wasn't pretty, but I think we're probably at that stage of the season where are we that fussed about the performances a minute? I think, because we said it's a 6-pointer, we needed that win. I think results at the minute are much more important than how we're playing. But I'd say the players did look like, wanted to play football and attack a lot more, which I thought was much more positive to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll go back through the start and actually the lineup, Charlie, because as always, when a lineup comes out, there is going to be a reaction, and it does split opinion in terms of sort of what people think of the lineup. Let's take it from the top. So Daniel Batman started in goal, which is a really interesting talking point because people expected Ben Hamer to come back in. He was captain as well, which Cleverley said he had told the players in the week that was the case. Back four of Ryan Andrews, Ryan Porteous, Matty Pollock, James Morris, with Tom Dele-Bashiru in the 6, with Edo Kiembe and Ishmael Kone in front of him, Asprilla on the right, Chatford Dachi on the left, and then Emmanuel Dennis through the middle. Charlie, that lineup, Tom Cleverley's first lineup, what did you make of it?
Maybe Clev's doing a bit of mind games pre-match. Did he say and put something out from the club about Chatford Dachi? Looks like he kind of got injured and he might not be able to play that game. Maybe he got that from Fergie, but yeah, it's nice to see Chatford Dachi straight back in. I don't think he had one of his best games, but I like him as a player. Really liked our midfield. I think Tom Dele-Bashiru has been really, really good this season for us. Just his composure on the ball, getting out of tight spaces and then progressing forward. I thought he played well in the 6. Kone Kiembe have been kind of our better players. We've said our midfield has been really strong, even when Livermore's played. And yeah, James Morris came in, and I've always felt relaxed when James Morris plays. I feel like he never puts a foot wrong. And I thought yesterday he was top again. So yeah, wasn't it the youngest starting 11? I think at the average age of 23, youngest since 2011. So that goes a long way with the fans, and I think the players stood up to it, and I think it's going to get Tom a lot of credit in the bank. So I was pleased with it. Were you happy with the lineup, Jacob?
Yeah, I was kind of. There was a couple of decisions. I don't know if you were the same, Harry, when the lineup came out. I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised that Batman carried on because I prefer Ben Hamer, and Batman played really well. But if you said before the game, who would you pick? I'd go for Ben Hamer, especially based on sort of the last couple of games. But it made sense, the fact that Dan's worked with Tom. Tom knows his game inside out. And also when you think of a senior leader with Wesley Hoot out due to suspension, you needed someone in the leadership group to be the captain. And you look at the rest of the team, and the only man really I probably could give it to, apart from him, is Ryan Porteous. So it made sense for Batman to start. Apart from that, Harry, I don't know about you, but I kind of thought that was a relatively expected team. Were you surprised by any of the selection choices? Because obviously, Hoot was suspended. There was an injury to... I've just gone blank. There was an injury to someone.
It might be Chatford Dachi who actually wasn't injured.
Okay, it was Georgie. And I think I was kind of a bit caught off there. What about the lineup for you? What did you make of it when it came out at 2:00?
can't remember when it came out at 2 o'clock. I had a few beers by then, but it was looking at now. I think not really any shocks. It's good to see Pollock starting to really come into the team now, I must admit. And when he has played, he's been really impressive. I do like him as a defender. He gets stuck in. I think he's improved a lot as well. So I thought that was really good to see from yesterday. But no really sort of shocks. I'm really liking the midfield, Tom Deeney and Kone, especially how they drove forward yesterday as well. Really admired that. And I think good to see George in the team as well, because he wasn't at his best, but he does have them sort of glimpses of magic at some stages of the game. So yeah, it was good to see him. But no, apart from that, no real shocks or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Charlie, with this performance, as kind of Harry alluded to at the top of the show, there were some differences, I thought, in terms of maybe the areas we were playing in and the combinations going forwards and when we got a bit of confidence. But also, I think Cleverley admitted after the game that it wasn't executed to exactly the way he envisaged it, and he took responsibility for that. I thought that was quite positive, actually, the fact that Tom had basically gone, you know what, I thought this would pan out a little bit better than it did in terms of, obviously, the result amazing. We managed to get over the line. That was the most important thing. But I think potentially might have expected a bit more of a fluid performance. Did you get that from his post-match comments?
Yeah, interesting and really candid from Tom. Reminds me of the quote, like, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the nose. And I think just shows this management, you're going to work on something all week and drill it into the players. But the minute you cross over that line, you never know what you're going to expect. And that's where the good coaches, when they can translate their ideas and really show what their coaching's about. And I think that's probably the case with Tom. One thing I did like in patches was our passing. I thought we were popping it around quite nicely in bits, quick movements, 1-2s, moving Birmingham about, getting into some good spaces. And then it kind of fell down a bit when we got into the final third, which is, feel like the story of Watford season, really. But yeah, it's such a steep learning curve for Cleverley. And hopefully, I said it, I think I'd like him to get at least to the end of, I like him just to get to the end of the season personally. And he will learn so much in that. And I just think we've got a really good, honest group of players who are going to listen and try their best to deliver whatever he wants us to do on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get a few of your comments. Thanks so much to 100 of you watching live this evening. Really do appreciate it. Harry, as Harry mentioned about Matty Pollock, I remember seeing Matty Pollock captain Grimsby at 17 years old. Glad he got a chance. Hopefully he can build from this now. That partnership with Porteous Harry. That partnership with Porto. Who was your man of the match yesterday? Because I kind of felt it was between those two and maybe Tom Deeney. Batman actually as well probably deserves a shot.
Batman for me. I think the saves kept us in it, I would say. But that's taking away nothing from obviously the two centre backs. I thought they were fantastic. But I would say Batman for me, man of the match. Just I think he did keep us in it towards the end there, 100%.
How was Batman's kicking? Because I think that's one of my biggest gripes with him. Yeah. Was he keeping it a bit simpler yesterday?
It looked better, and it was a bit quicker as well. It felt a little bit quicker. I'm not sure if that is from him saying, "Oh, that's Tom's style." I'm not sure, but it did feel a little bit. It felt a little bit quicker, because I know sometimes maybe not when we were 1-0 up, maybe because it got towards the end of the game. But I know when we were sort of trying to extend the lead, or we were trying to get ahead, we were sort of from when he was trying to throw it out, he was much quicker. So did notice that.
Oh, just a lot of happy Hornets here. Rio says Batman was very good shot stopping wise. Kicking still needs to be worked on. Under hit pass to Porto in the second half. Sorry, Charlie, you about to jump in?
No, I was just going to say, that a few profanities came out of my mouth when he did that back pass, but we got away with it, so it's all good. Porto shithousing got us out of trouble, but I thought Porteous was top yesterday. Like I said, he looks a bit exposed, especially when he has been asked to man mark and go into the centre of the pitch. But I just felt like he was kind of defending just his space, which I felt he was a bit more comfortable in. Loads of important headers, some good blocks. I really like Porteous. I think there's a player in there. He's still really young. I think he was the oldest of the back three. Well, probably oldest. Who was the oldest yesterday? Oldest player we had on the pitch. He would have been one of the oldest players. Dan Batman would have been the oldest probably. But I really like Porteous, and I think there's a player in there, and we should stick with him. And I think with some good coaching, he could be a really good player for us. Reminds me a bit of Jay Demerit, kind of the way he plays, full throttle. Good in the air, which we haven't utilised as much. We saw that goal against Coventry. So, yeah, I was impressed with Porto yesterday.
He's a fascinating one, Porteous, for me, because I think we've seen the best and worst of him in a Watford shirt. And probably hasn't been helped with his sort of what he's been asked to do by certain managers, because I thought what Cleverley did well with both the centre-backs yesterday was saying, just stay in your positions, just deal with the stuff in the air, keep it super simple, win your tackles, win your individual battles, and that's all I need you to do. Whereas I think the one criticism I have against Val, and yes, it's only one game, but we saw a lot of times, and even before Val, under Chris Wilder, under Bilic at the start, Porteous comes rushing out at the halfway line, trying to win his tackles, and it just leaves us completely exposed at the back. And sometimes he can be a loose cannon, but I really like Porteous. He gives it his all, can take the ball under pressure, which I think is a massive thing as well.
Good passer.
This is the thing as well, because I think people almost expect it with centre backs that maybe the passes they make are sideways, backwards, etc. But I think the one thing about Porteous is he can play that ball through the thirds, which is so valuable through the line. So definitely one to look out for. And I think hopefully if we can keep him, he has a good Scotland are at the Euros, right? Yeah, has a good Euros. Then we'll see maybe a different Porteous next season, as Ben said in the comment section. Tom Dele-Bashiru, Harry, just going to go through a few individuals. Ben says, very surprised Tom Dele-Bashiru hasn't been utilised as a six more before. Looks like his natural position to me. I thought he looked really calm. I guess he kind of a more mobile Jake Livermore, if that makes sense. I know Livermore has his strengths, but I thought Dele-Bashiru looked pretty good in that role.
He did. Really, really calm, composing the ball, like he said, yeah. And it's really good to see him. But what I do like about him as well, he does, if we do need him to play a bit more advanced, I think he can offer that. You know, he does have an attacking threat to him as well. But I do like you say, I think with Livermore at the minute, he is offering that sort of that holding position. He plays that really well. And yesterday, yeah, it was really good to see him. And I think I just like the way he links up with Kone as well. I think they've got both work quite well together. So it was really good to see.
Yeah, I like the look of him. Charlie, I messaged you straight after the game, didn't I? And I said, Tom Dele-Bashiru looked half decent now, I have to say. I don't know if that's his best position, though, do you reckon?
I don't know. I think, when we spoke, I kind of said I just don't think he's got maybe the positioning and the defensive now set, which is something he can learn. It felt like when Jake Livermore came into the team earlier on this season, he just knew where to be to break off attacks and win possession well. Sometimes I think Tom can be a bit of ahead of the play and he's kind of running towards his own goal. But yeah, I think he's versatile. Obviously, we've seen him as a right back. I think he could easily play as an 8. But yeah, he's got the temperament and he's got the control and he's got the passing range to be a 6. And with the team, a good team around him, he could be that person to kind of dictate play. You kind of see the smaller number 6, a bit like, I don't know how much people have seen him, but Angel Gomez, under 21 player, but he's only small but really tidy player, gets on the ball, moves it. But I think is he in a conversation for like top 3 player of the season?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like when you think of players of the season, I think Hoots probably leads the way in terms of consistent performances over the year. Then I kind of maybe look to Livermore in terms of, I think we can't forget that first half of the season. He was absolutely fantastic. Obviously hasn't played recently. Hamer is in the conversation, Harry. What do you reckon? Top 3?
Kone and Espria I'd put in there as well, maybe. I do like. I'd like the. I think Kone does. It's kind of a bad game, but I think overall he has had a really good season. I think Espria as well as he's starting to look a lot more. I think the one thing about Espria is he's always need to work on his physical side of his game. I think he's starting to develop that a bit more. He's sort of getting the hang of the championship a bit better. So I'd definitely put Espria in the top 3 as well. Ben Hamer, yeah, again, I think maybe. I'm not sure.
You're not having him?
I mean, to be fair, he has. I have to admit, like obviously after Hull, he was a bit of a hero, wasn't he? I think he has just fell off a bit, maybe, but
doesn't help not being in the team. To be fair,
yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? Also, I have to touch on the Espria because I put a tweet out in the game, and this guy frustrates the hell out of me because technically, I think he's our best player in terms of like a talent. Him and Kone, as Harry mentioned, are really big talents for us. But the one thing about Espria that kills me is his decision-making in the final thirds. There was another point yesterday, and I don't know if anyone else picked up on this, very similar to that Swansea game, where at 0-0, he had the chance to put, in that Swansea game, he had the chance to put Ken Sema on the left-hand side and on 3-on-2, and he didn't, and he took the shot on. There was another point yesterday at 0-0 against Birmingham, and Georgie is through. If he slips him in, it's a one-on-one with the keeper. And I know we've gone on to win the game, but it was just something I noticed. That final pass, and I don't know whether it's because whether there's a case of there's a bit of interest, so he's kind of like, I will need to show what I need to do, or he's trying to play for a move, or he just wants to take it on himself. But Charlie, is that something you've noticed, or am I being a bit too critical of Asprilla?
Yeah, I think it's really fair point, and I think that will come with age, that decision making. But we've seen Asprilla score worldies from distance, so he's probably backing himself to do it again. I don't know how much trust we've got in our strikers putting them in through goal. But yeah, you're right. They're just simple balls they need to get put through, and that's just part of the game, which he needs to improve on. But yeah, I think yesterday was a bit of a tough one for him. I don't know if it was a bit too physical, but he wasn't 100% on it. But yeah, I think we've seen what Asprilla can do. I think he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet. And I'm hoping he could have a good end of the season because, unfortunately, in the financial position that we're in, I think he's the one who could be sold in the summer. So we need to get those stocks high as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll get on to sort of the short-term future for Watford in terms of the end of the season in just a second. Lads, jump in if there's any comments you agree with or disagree. But Ian makes a great one. We're all in a good mood, so hit the like button if you're about and subscribe to WD18. One here, Facey says, Livermore, Asprilla and Hoop player of the season in that order for me. It's a big shout.
Yeah,
you don't mind that?
Yeah.
I think that's not too far off. Ben says that Asprilla has definitely become more selfish recently since those long-range goals. Decision-making has to improve because his weight of pass is one of his best attributes. I absolutely agree with that last sentence. This is the thing for me. He gets in so many good positions where you just feel the right decision and you're really talking with him.
What just comes to my mind? What do you think of Emmanuel Dennis's performance yesterday?
Very good point. And someone just mentioned it up here. Give me 2 seconds. Here we go. Odster. Dennis has been lousy until that goal on Saturday. Not any other Watford player could have done that. Harry, I guess the point is, when you look at our striker options, would you have backed anyone else with the options we have to put that away and create that goal?
He doesn't know. He didn't see it.
Yeah, good point.
He's reminded to the bar.
Yeah, I've only watched the replay once. I've seen it, but no, I do remember it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I have to admit, he has been. Is it a fitness thing? I don't know. He still looks very off the mark, I think. But even like yesterday, the goal, I don't think he did too much else. No, I don't think so anyway. I don't think he really offered much. Whether it's because he weren't getting the service or anything, but I think sort of the goal was the only thing that sort of was the highlight of the game for him yesterday. And I think the goals that he sort of we have got from him, I think the goals haven't been great. I mean, I think that he had a similar goal at Leicester, right? When we played Leicester at home, it was it was probably harder to miss, really. So it is a shame, sort of, he's not really kicked on after all the hype as well. But yeah,
he's a weird one, Charlie, isn't he? He's a weird one.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone tweet yesterday just before he scored saying he's been atrocious. I forgot who tweeted it, so shout out. But literally after they sent that tweet, he goes on to score. But look, he's coming. He hasn't played any football the first half of the season. He's coming to another dysfunctional team. Played loads of different positions. Like, I thought yesterday's goal was actually pretty good from him, and it's something that Cleverley talks about, kind of that high pressing. He did nick the ball off the defender. He's shown how dynamic he can be in that sense. And there's been, off the top of my head, I just feel like that's a Dennis finish, quite high up, quite risky. He's not like low and hard like a Harry Kane. I remember in the Premier League against West Ham, he scored a similar kind of goal when he hit it in the roof of the net. But we just know he's got that quality. And if we want to pick up any results this season, I think he needs to be in the team because he's one of the few players that I trust to score, really. I don't know if he got injured. There was a nice little bit of play straight after he scored where Asprilla put a good ball into him, and he kind of scuffed his effort, and John Ruddy got down to it. I don't think it was the best strike, but that kind of showed a tiny glimpse of what I was hoping to see more of in terms of Asprilla and Dennis. And then after that, he kind of was holding his hamstring, just after half time, and he got brought off soon after that. But look, he'd be in my team all day long because I know that he's going to score if he gets a chance. What was his goal against Huddersfield? That was a pretty good finish as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He's a weird one, Dennis. As Charlotte makes a great point here. Ice cool finish from Dennis. Can't imagine any of our other strikers putting that one away. And funny you say that, Charlotte, because I put a very similar tweet out yesterday about it on many, Dennis. I think I said it doesn't matter how he's playing. And to be honest, yesterday I thought he was pretty off it. I would always trust Dennis to finish that over our other strikers, and someone in the comment section. But Bayo gets to that ball, but the ball will go over the bar. Rajovic will try hard, but won't actually get to the ball. And I think that pretty much summed up Watford's striking situation at the moment. But it's a good bit of quality, and a quality that, Charlie, when you actually look at the chances we created yesterday, second half, I actually don't think we created that much. I think first half Dennis had an opportunity which he kind of put wides after the goal, so we could have been 2-0 up, but we didn't create loads after the goal. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Bayo had a chance which he kind of hit wide. I think he could have done better, Who played? Can't remember who drove in, maybe Kone or someone in the comments tell me. Someone had a really nice drive and kind of put it on, and he just skewed it wide. Yeah, second half, I can't remember anything about the second half, in all honesty. It was kind of bodies on the line. I don't think we were in too much threat, though. I was just a bit like, I don't know. It was a weird one. I didn't think Birmingham were great. I thought Ethan Laird was their best player on the right. I didn't feel too much in danger, which just goes to show against the quality of those side. And I think that's something that's given me a bit of hope for the future, knowing that the Championship there's some bad teams in the Championship. All you have to do is be half solid and you've got a shout at the playoffs. And I came away from that game looking at all the teams below us and thinking, all we need to do is try to get some kind of structure and some symmetry, and we should be near the playoffs. But look, that's a lot to talk about. But yeah, I didn't think Birmingham were great yesterday, and we've done enough to get the win.
That almost made our run recently even more concerning, the fact you say that, Charlie, because I think when you look at some of the teams in this division, and no disrespect, but it is disrespect, there are some bad teams in there, if we're honest. And the run Watford were on, we desperately needed that win today. I guess my question is over to you, Harry, is that goal from Dennis yesterday, is that the most vital goal of the season so far? From the games you've been to this season, what you've seen, in terms of the picture of this season?
Probably at this stage where we are, I think if we didn't win yesterday, say if we lost yesterday, it would have been concerning, 100%. So maybe yes at this stage. So obviously still quite a bit of football to be played still. So, but I think where we are at the minute, I think that was really probably one of the biggest goals of the season so far. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I even think we'll look back on when Dennis leaves us in a few months' time in the summer. Obviously, his loan will finish, and I'd imagine it'll be unlikely that he comes back. I honestly believe we'll look back on his goal yesterday as his most important in a Watford shirt, obviously over the two spells, because as Harry mentioned, huge in the context of our season, and it keeps us clear of the relegation mix, 9 points clear. And Charlie, just moving away from yesterday, what, as a Watford fan going into the last 8 games under Clevs, it looks like he's going to be the interim head coach until the end of the season, with his backroom staff of Arman Kavaya, Damon Lathrop in the backroom staff, Jimmy Gilligan as well. What would you like to see from this Watford team before now until the end of the season? Because playoffs are looking, we're out of the picture.
What did you say there?
I was just trying to tease you. Playoffs are out of the picture. Relegation is incredibly unlikely now. What would you like to see?
Just a team that I feel like we've said this before, but like we saw the fight yesterday, which we wanted to get back. I don't think the players downed tools under Val. I just think our confidence was rock bottom. And yesterday, I thought we showed a really good fight. I don't think we're going to see any kind of tactical innovations or like some swashbuckling Watford team. But if we can just have a really steady and structured setup, and then try and get our flair players to do some magic. I just think we got such a tough run, and Clevs is going to be coming up against a lot of good managers in the run-in, so he's going to learn a lot. But I think if we can try and defend really well, keep the structure in place, and then get like Dennis, Aspria, even like Martins, Georgie, Kone running on the counter-attack, kind of exciting us, I think I'll be happy with that. It's going to be tough, and there's going to be defeats in this run-in, but I hope we can keep our keep our cool and it not be too disastrous and realise the state that we're in, and we just see the team give a good go.
Harry, your end, what would you like to see, mate?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we've got a very tough run of fixtures coming up. I must admit, obviously we've got Leeds that are next, isn't it? And then games like West Brom, Ipswich, Southampton. Really tough run. So I think on the same, just see a bit of fight. I think it's certainly there. I think we saw a bit of it yesterday as well, which was nice. But like I said, not fussed about performance. Just a few results would be nice. I think. I know, like I said, we're probably safe from relegation. But it'd be just nice to get a few results, and especially with Tom Cleverley as well. I think it would do him, to get some results under his belt as well, for his sort of like personal career as well. I think it'd be good for him to get them wins.
Yeah, Harry, how was how are the travelling fans yesterday? It looked pretty packed the away end. What was the atmosphere like compared to other away days?
It was good. Yeah, no, it was good. Everyone was backing Cleverley, which I liked. And at the end, it was lovely to see as well. The players coming over. Everyone seems to be in a good mood yesterday. And like I say, good numbers. Everyone was very vocal. I don't know what the limbs were like. As I said, I was in the concourse, so but it was all right in there. To be fair, no, the concourse at half time was very good. I must admit, yeah.
Points flying everywhere.
It was, yeah.
Just in terms of, as Harry mentioned, the last sort of 8 games of the season after this international break, we're on 48 points. I guess the question is, Charlie, before we get on to a few questions in the comment section, are you looking at a points target in particular? Would it be nice to beat maybe last year's tally?
The only barometer I've judged this Watford team on for a long time now is vibes. Are the vibes good or not?
And the vibes are right now?
The vibes are good right now, but that could soon change after Leeds game. No, I'm not looking at points tally. I don't think we're going to go down. Let's just try and have some good performances going in. What we are now, 48. It'd be interesting to know what we got last season. If we could end anywhere near last season, I think that would be pretty good, considering we've talked about it, but all the players leaving, even like the change of manager now, playing under Val, and the really bad long bit of form that we had. I think one thing that's been really pleasing, I know it's not great for the home fans, but the away form, I think, has been pretty good this season. I've shared a couple of away ends with Harry, Preston away being my absolute highlight. So the travelling fans have had a couple of good days to enjoy this year.
Yeah, I think just looking at our points tally, Watford are 7 points worse off than they were last season, and last season's tally was 63 points, and we finished 11th. So that would mean in the last 8 games of the season, Watford would need 15 points to get there out of a possible 24, if I got that correct.
That seems miles off.
pretty unlikely. Let's have a few questions I'll throw over to the lads. Someone made a fantastic point about Tom Deli Bashir and Kone both fasting with Ramadan and putting an incredible performance, which we have to mention, which is amazing from those guys as well. Charlie, I know you wanted to talk about Troy Deeney's comments on Sky Sports News. As Sean says in the comment section, he gave a good insight, better than the usual pundits moaning about us sacking managers. He also said just needing to be solid in the Championship as well. One line that resonated with me, Charlie, was he said, Watford don't have the players to maybe grind. Well, we haven't seen many of those wins yesterday this season, if that makes sense. So we maybe haven't got the players really to go toe-to-toe physically, but we also maybe don't have the players to play through teams. So we've kind of got a mixture of both styles. Did you agree with that? And what did you make of Troy's comments?
Yeah, really interesting. And I'd urge anyone, if they haven't seen it, if you've only seen the clip on Twitter, there's a longer version on Sky Sports YouTube when he talks about Dan Backman and stuff like that. So really interesting from Troy. But I think you said it, Jacob. I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the situation around Watford, talking about how much responsibility Val's had this year compared to other managers. I think he pointed towards the role above Val, the hierarchy with Ben Manga and Cristiano Giuretta, and us getting that wrong, which I 100% agree with. He talks about the players and the recruiting, and like you said, Jacob, we haven't got those championship hardened players who are going to win games and battle you through and show good leadership, or we haven't got the players with good enough quality who are just going to play around you. Makes me think of Burnley last season, who just had incredible quality. It was a really good piece from Troy. I thought he got it spot on. And it just shows where we are, really. And it kind of nods to next season, which maybe we can't be so naive to think that we can just get promoted through the Championship from, I don't even know what the owner thinks we can get by from. But he mentioned Jake Livermore saying how good he was, but he's still 34. Like, you need, if you're going to be a team, you need to be more solid, and you need people in their prime who are Championship experience and going to get you over the lines in games. I feel like there's been so many games this season where a bit of experience or a bit of just more Championship nous would have got us a win.
Harry, did you catch Troy's comments? Did you watch it?
I've only seen the Twitter clip, but from what I did, I like what I saw. I did like what I see. From what I saw, the short bit of it, yeah, completely.
Yeah, what just on what kind of Charlie said there at the end, Harry. What do you want? Maybe it's obviously two. You can't really rush the conclusions after just one game with Cleverley, but just sort of what you've seen from this Watford team this season.
Yeah.
What would you like to see going forwards? What's maybe been missing that you look at this team and you think, God, I wish we did that a bit more. Or I wish we had that in this team a little bit more. Is there anything in particular that stands out to you?
Consistent goal scorer, I think, would be nice. I mean, we've got Rajovic. I mean, Rajovic's goal tally is great, but we know he off the ball, he's got a lot to work on. But I think someone that can be in the team consistently and score goals, I think every team needs that if they are going to do well. You know, you see all the teams at the top at the minute; they've all got that in their teams. I think that's just where we lack, and maybe a few more Championship leaders as well. I think, like we say, it's good to have a little more, but I feel like, you know, you want players that have a bit more Championship nous and maybe have a bit younger as well, have a bit more energy. I'm not saying Liverpool doesn't, but I feel like, you know, you do want them sort of younger players, maybe do have slightly more energy.
Yeah. I look at West Brom, and like they've got John Swift and Jed Wallace, is it?
Jed Wallace, yeah.
I know his name's gone, but do you know what I mean? Those two have had like 200-300 games in the Championship, really good pros, and in the peak of their careers, and they were bought for like really low fees. I think they might have been frees when their contract ran down. So smart bit of business from West Brom. But when Harry was saying that about a goal scorer, absolutely bang on, just made me think of Matic Vydra.
Yeah.
What I would do to see him prime Matty Vydra back in the Watford chat. Oh my God, stop it, Charlie. Set me off. Oddsday, last year we scored 56 goals and let in 53 so far. This year, 53 and 51. So it looks like we'll get past both those tallies, to be fair, before the end of the season. Harry says, think that win now takes a lot of pressure off the boys. Let's hope we can now poach some points off some of the bigger teams for Charlie's vibe meter, in inverted commas. What makes up the vibe meter? And what sort of, like, Charlie, if you had to say like one end of the vibe meter and the other end of the vibe meter, what's bad vibes and good vibes in Watford?
Bad vibes is last year Cardiff at home. That's like a 0. I can't remember too many vibes as bad as that in my time supporting Watford. And good vibes is Wolves semi-final. Sadly, Wolves lost again in the semi-final late on. So quarterfinal. You feel for them. But yeah, you just want, if you're getting anything over a 5 or 6 in the vibe meter, I think you're onto a good thing. And I think we have seen a lot of good vibes this season, which I just want to return back to. We've never had that feeling of, could we get promoted? But we've just enjoyed performances, even some we've lost. And I think with Tom Cleverley in, that's going to really help with that. I'd like to see, we saw Jack Greaves and remind me of the other player who was on the bench yesterday.
I'll get his name. I forgot completely.
It'd be great to see Jack get some game time. I think we're going to see Ryan Andrews play more often, which is good. I thought he had another decent performance yesterday. So yeah, maybe if we could see some of the youngsters, some of that energy, something that we can get behind as fans going into season. Like Tom said, that's just his goal. He wants to send us into the season happy.
Albert Ames.
Happy.
It was Jack Greaves on the bench, Albert Ames as well, both from the academy, which is really good to see. And a lot of people in the comment section are saying they'd like to see a lot of the youngsters being given a go from the academy before the end of the season. As Harry mentioned, still a very difficult run of last 8 games of the season. Someone said, sadly, I think Charlie was being maybe slightly sarcastic about Wolves being knocked out in the quarterfinals. Maybe it's just me. Lads, just sort of to wrap up today. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about Watford? Harry, just lastly, at this moment in time, when you're going into an international break, what's the general feel? Is it relief? Is it relief that you can enjoy your international break rather than looking over your shoulder, or is it let's kick on and try and get 15 points for the end of the season, beat last season?
Yeah, well, I do England games as well, so it's like I've got that now to always have that to focus on. So I hope England get a few wins in the friendlies, but I'm looking forward to. I do like the April run of games, especially sometimes. Sometimes we have something to play for, sometimes we don't. But I don't know. I always look forward to the April games. Sun's out. Just go to games, and just enjoy it. Like in terms of Watford, like how we're playing, I'm not fussed. It's just like that. It is what it is. Like at the minute, hopefully we won't go down. Hopefully not going to go up. I'm just going to go to games, just enjoy it when I can. Really, at the minute.
Harry, I've got 2 questions for you before we finish. First question, I'll give you a second to think about. Who do you want as the next Watford manager next season? And while you're thinking of that one in your head, what rest of away games are you going to this season with Watford?
I might do Ipswich, and I'm probably going to do Borough last game of the season, probably. Yeah,
nice.
You like those?
He's had a bit of time. He's bought himself a bit of time in, by the way. He's asking the question back to us. He's going through the most Watford, non-Watford managers ever.
I'm to be confirmed for any away days. Yeah, Jacob, can we squeeze one in, Jacob?
I'm thinking final day. I'm thinking Borough. I've never been.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe look, Clev's at the end of the season. Give him a nice send off.
Go and have a Palmo up there. Yeah,
I've never been. To be fair,
you know what a Palmo is?
Is it? I don't know. Do you know?
It's like Middlesbrough's delicacy. It's like I don't know. Someone in the comments might be able to help me, but it's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of filth. It's a filthy meal, but it's there. It's what they eat up there. Harry, who's going to be the manager next season? Yeah, who? But just give us a name.
Who do I think, or who do I want?
Just a name.
I think it is that Watford to go for Scott Parker, 100%. I wouldn't be surprised if that rumor was true. I don't want it. Probably personally don't want it, but I don't know who's going to take it. This is also another thing. And also with Gino selling the club, what is he if he wants to sell the club? Is it going to be a long-term appointment? Is it going to be like we just don't know? Like I feel like that to attract a good manager with an owner that probably doesn't have a long-term vision anymore is going to be quite difficult. So
I think it's a very fair point.
Yeah, but unpopular opinion as well. I would be, and I know a very unpopular opinion, but I would also be keen on giving Wayne Rooney a shot. But that's just my personal opinion. Yeah,
I think we should put Wayne Rooney in our tier list we're doing on Wednesday, Jacob.
That's a lovely shout. I completely forgot that he wasn't in a job anymore. It feels like Birmingham didn't really happen, to be honest. That just felt like a bit of a simulation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you saw what he did at Derby. I actually love what he did at Derby. I think from a culture side as well, from what I've heard. I don't think quite go well at Birmingham, but I feel like there's might be issues there anyway. But yeah, I did like him as coach.
I have to say, we haven't really had like an ex-pro, obviously, in terms of Clevs knows the club, like that massive name of like, because Gerrard was linked at one point, I remember.
Zola, yeah, Zola's
Zola, of course, Zola. But do you know what I mean, Charlie, in terms of like that sort of Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney ilk of manager? We haven't had one of those just yet. To be honest, and we do have to say this as well, Cleverley's got a great shout if he has a good run at the end of the season, gets us into especially with the guys I mentioned, the teams we're playing. If you look at our run between now and the end of the season, if I can get the fixtures up just quickly, he's got a great chance of staking his claim. We've got Leeds at home, West Brom away, Preston at home, Ipswich away, Southampton away, Hull at home, Sunderland at home, and then Borough away on the final day of the season. So Tom Cleverley, if he does well, has got a decent shout of putting his name into the hat, I think, for the next managerial job. But time will tell. Just on Middlesbrough, to wrap up, I've managed to get the delicacy up. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is apparently, it's called a Parmo, Charlie.
Yeah. What's in it?
I don't know.
Filth.
That looks about right. That looks like a northern delicacy, doesn't it? Right. Sorry, you weren't going to be touching that. Was it like breaded chicken? I think it is, isn't it? Breaded
Yeah, it
chicken.
was like breaded chicken with a lot of cheese. There's been a few shouts, Harry. Not only people are saying they love the flat cap. There was one. John Eustace was thrown into the hat. Please, not Wayne Rooney. That's been met with.
Told you I'm popular.
Michael Rooney. Eustace is a great call. Was on a great run before being replaced by Rooney. And great to see you, Jack. We will mention
all to be discussed on Wednesday's video. The next Watford manager tier list, where we're going to throw some names out and go early and see what we come up with. Obviously, there's a long time to go, but I reckon Jacob's going to be flying the Cleverley flag, but we'll see.
Maybe. We were actually going to do it before the Saturday's game against Birmingham. But I said, Charlie, just hold fire. Let's make sure we get a win, and then I could really put the Tom Cleverley debate and argue it out there. Because to be honest, in terms of vibes, I wanted to make sure that he was in the conversation. But yeah, no, I think it's where we're going to wrap up today. Charlie, just final thoughts. Anything we've missed? I always say that at the end of the show. Anything we've missed? Anything we need to cover?
No. Less than a week now to the WD18 Cup. What more have I got to say about it? Get your raffle tickets, like we said, for anyone who's joined in a bit later. All it is £5 for a raffle ticket. The link's in the description below. You buy a raffle ticket, you'll have 1 in 3 chance of winning some great Watford prizes, including signed shirts. We've got a James Morris one. We've got a women one. Watford puzzle. We've got tickets to the Preston game. There's loads of stuff, and obviously we've got auction prizes. You're going to need a big wallet to go for Craig Cathcart's one, which I think has now reached £510. So, yeah, unbelievable prizes, but loads of other auction stuff to be won. And now that Clevs has won, Tom, if you're watching, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday to present the raffle prizes, present the auction prizes, and hand out the trophy. So hopefully we'll see Tom down there and some other special guests, but I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm buzzing for it as well, mate. Hopefully we'll get Clevs down, but even I know he's got probably more pressing matters to be worried about at the minute. But yeah, it should be a great day. Should be a great day. As Charlie mentioned, we've got 10 teams, should be around 100 people. And we'd love to see you down there. If you can't make it on the day, as Charlie mentioned, there's a link below to donate, get involved with the auction, the raffle, 23rd of March, this Saturday at West Hart Sports Club, 12 till 6. Laura, what time does it start? Starts at 12, but feel free to come at any time is what I would say. Don't feel like if you don't come at the start, you don't need to come at all. Feel free to drop by at any time. In terms of how the day's gonna run, players are going to arrive at around 11:15. There's going to be a bit of a chat beforehand, speech, talk, whatever you want to call it. Make sure no one's chopping anyone with two foot. First match starts at around 12 o'clock. The final should be wrapped up before 6. We'll have the auction and the raffle midway through the day, and there's going to be some live music. We've got a PA system. There's a bar open with food to get involved with as well. Pizza will be ordered towards the end, so get involved there as well. But I think that's pretty much covered everything, Charlie, right? 12 till 6, West Hart Sports Club this Saturday. Would love to see you guys there. And also just to mention, if you don't want to donate online, we are taking cash in person as well. So that shouldn't be a problem at all. And yeah, Harry, I think you're popping along, aren't you, just before Brazil game?
Yeah. Not going to miss that, lads. Yeah, I'll pop down before the England game. So yeah, be great to see everyone there.
What a man, legend. And yeah, should be a great day. Saturday and pizza. Jacob, you interviewed my sister outside the Vic a few seasons back. Great stuff. Hope she's well. Charlotte, thanks so much. All the best for the WD18 Cup. You'll smash it. Enjoy. Thanks so much, Charlotte. Great stuff. Thanks so much to everyone who watched today and listened on audio. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to WD18, turn on your post notifications, follow Harry on his socials. What a man for turning up today. Legend.
Harry, have you got a new podcast to plug?
More to follow on that, mate.
Just a teaser, Harry. Is it Watford related or is it away from Watford?
Nah, away from Watford.
Away from Watford. Reviewing flat caps. Okay, take care. Nice one. Take care. See you later. Have a great week. Up the Hornets.